Potential investors of the Cebu ART Network Phase 1. Most of the major government infrastructure projects under the PPP program of the government are financed by Filipino conglomerates. The first ART network in Metro Cebu may be financed by a Filipino conglomerate or a consortium of Filipino conglomerates. Among the likely candidates is the Ayala Group. It will be the one that will benefit the most by such a project. Ayala is the developer of 4 business parks in Metro Cebu, namely Cebu Business Park, IT Park, South Coast City, and Gatewalk Central. These 4 parks can easily be connected by an ART. Among the advantages of this connectivity is the sharing of resources. For example, only one Uniqlo needs to be located among the 4 malls. Uniqlo is a world-famous casual wear manufacturer and retailer with a limited Philippine market. Shoppers or residents in all 4 business parks can access Uniqlo within 5 to 20 minutes. For more common stores like Ace Hardware, a customer can go to another branch within the same time frame if a branch runs out of stock of a certain item. Since ART travels in straight lines or shortcuts in the sky, these 4 parks are only within 6 kilometers of each other. Another advantage is the sharing of the most modern and biggest convention center and arena in Cebu. Ayala can charge higher rental fees and association dues on the existing and future commercial spaces in these 4 parks. It will have an easier time selling the unsold areas even at higher prices than when there was no convenient connectivity or when there was a lack of amenities. This is a perspective view of the convention center and of the arena. The ART station will be somewhere here. This facility can be accessed by the 3 other Ayala business parks in less than 15 minutes. The very comfortable ride will have a 360-degree view of Metro Cebu. Its hills and sea boundaries are seen about 5 to 15 stories above the ground. The Cebu Business Park, or CBP, has an area of 50 hectares. IT Park has an area of 27 hectares that continues to expand in area. Both business parks were solely developed by the Ayala Group and are currently being managed by the same. They are about 1 kilometer walking distance from each other. This shows the midpoint of the 1 kilometer walk. The environment is clearly an unattractive environment for walking. Sidewalks are narrow and sometimes blocked. Pedestrians sometimes have to walk the streets. Very few walk between these 2 parks. Most just take jeepney rides that are insufficient during peak hours. On this side are public roads and sidewalks outside the CBP and IT parks. On this side are private roads and sidewalks inside the CBP and IT parks. The roads and sidewalks of those in CBP and IT parks are twice in width than in public roads outside the 2 parks. Yet, the traffic volume in these public roads are 3 times greater than inside the CBP and IT parks. This is because these roads are the entry and exit points of both parks. Additionally, they service the traffic volume of the cars in the entire Metro Cebu that passes through these roads. You cannot let a BRT or LRT pass through these narrow 4-lane roads. What BRT and LRT cannot do, ART can. ART can significantly reduce the traffic congestion in these areas. This is the satellite view of the CBP and IT parks. Both have similar features in development such as wide roads and sidewalks. It can be seen that both areas still have about 30% vacant space. It is expected that more high-rise buildings will be built in these vacant areas in the future. Consequently, traffic will continue to worsen in the public roads surrounding both parks. This satellite view shows the boundaries of the two parks together with a trace of its surrounding road network highlighted in yellow and white lines. We will look at 4 typical photos of the roads surrounding IT Park and 4 typical photos of the roads surrounding CBP. These places used to be low-income to high-income residential areas from the 40s to the 80s. The old road network has only been slightly improved over the years. It is generally narrow, composed of only 2 to 4 lane roads. These are the typical roads and neighborhoods surrounding the IT Park. The nearby high-rise buildings of the IT Park can be seen in the background. Similarly, these are the typical roads and neighborhoods surrounding CBP. The nearby high-rise buildings of the CBP can be seen in the background. It can be seen that the main public roads are only 4 lanes as compared to the 6 to 8 lane divided private roads inside the 2 parks. The main public roads should have been at least 6 lanes since all the vehicles pass through these roads, connecting multiple neighborhoods. It can also be seen that the interior 2-lane roads are poorly developed. Some have narrow or no sidewalks. Medium-rise buildings are starting to be developed in these areas, such as these 2 buildings. These developments may have added to the traffic congestion of the roads within its vicinity. It will be expensive to widen these roads to 4 lanes as it will require the demolition of many buildings. Thus, the chances for improving the connectivity of these 2 parks by road widening or by ground-based mass transportation is very slim. For further analysis, let us embed the 2 parks and the 8 photos previously shown in a Metro Cebu map instead of a satellite map. These solid red lines are only 4-lane roads that have not been significantly widened since 30 years ago. The nearest wider road is the North-South Road. Another much wider road is the parallel Osmeña-Owano Avenue. Undoubtedly, the site development within CBP and IT parks are modern and very well designed. Vacant lots in these 2 parks cost about 5 times the cost of land in its neighborhood. To take advantage of being near these 2 excellent business parks, landowners have also built high-rise buildings in their much lower cost properties. As an example, we will show photos of the 8 clusters of high-rise buildings shown in green circles. These circles are outside the limits of CBP and IT parks. They have added more congestion to the main 4-lane public roads highlighted in red lines. These are photos of high-rise buildings outside of the CBP and IT parks. Note that the buildings shown in these photos are not inside the CBP and IT parks. Cluster of high-rise buildings are not limited only to business parks. They are now in many areas of Cebu, Mandaue, and Lapu-Lapu cities. Some are even in interior areas bounded only by 2-lane roads. So much vertical development or construction have occurred in Metro Cebu with very little corresponding horizontal or road development over the past 40 years. Very little road widening was done during the same period. As a result, heavy traffic has extended in most of the 4-lane main roads of Metro Cebu as shown in these extended red lines. Many more high-rise buildings are currently under construction, and many more will be constructed. Let us go back to the traffic and transportation problem of the CBP and IT parks. Based on what has been shown in this chapter video, it appears that both parks will continue to be encircled with very congested roads. This will surely worsen in the coming years. The faraway BRT Phase 1 and BRT Phase 2 will not be able to significantly solve the public transportation problems of the CBP and IT parks. The 2019 JICA Transportation Master Plan for Metro Cebu recommends 2 LRT lines for the core cities of Cebu, Mandaue, and Lapu-Lapu. The master plan indicated that mass transportation systems cannot be built northwest along the alignment of LRT-1. This is because public roads available in these areas are only up to 4 lanes. BRT and LRT need 6 lanes of right-of-way. Furthermore, many parts of this shaded area are hilly. It will be shown here how the 2 LRT lines will affect the mass transport connectivity of the CBP and IT parks. The IT park is relatively far away from a mass transportation system. CBP would be in a better situation since the LRT-1 can be accessed by a 210-meter pedestrian flyover along the sidewalk of an existing road. But this would not be enough to significantly resolve the mobility problem within CBP. Again, both parks still have about 30% vacant space that are available for more high-rise buildings. The economic viability and attractiveness to prospective locators, investors, and condo buyers in these remaining vacant lots has probably lessened. Businessmen who are planning to invest in building high-rise buildings in these vacant lots and customers who are planning to buy pre-sale units in these areas will think twice. They will factor in the realities of the horrible traffic conditions surrounding these 2 parks in their decisions. Prospective investors and customers will look for alternatives. The alternative will be the 3 reclamation areas along the southeastern coast of Metro Cebu. It is only about 25% built up with permanent structures. Almost all the roads are 6 to 8 lanes wide. Its main roads will be bisected by either BRT or LRT. The SRP and Cebu North Reclamation are connected by an elevated expressway and a road tunnel. The center of commerce and entertainment in Cebu province used to be in downtown Cebu City from the 1940s to the 1980s. It shifted mainly to the CBP and IT parks from the 1980s up to the present time. The land values in the downtown area were the most expensive in the entire city up to the 1980s. There were many more times than the Lahog area where the CBP and IT parks would later be located. When the gradual shift occurred, there was a corresponding gradual reversal of land values. Currently, the land values in the CBP and IT parks are many more times than those of downtown Cebu. Almost all the roads within the 700-hectare combined reclamation area are about 6 to 8 lanes wide. Within 10 to 20 years, LRT-1 along the combined reclamation and LRT-2 inside the combined reclamation could be built. The construction of 2 LRT lines is realistic as JICA is willing to fund them. JICA is the funder of the Manila LRT-2 extension and the ongoing Manila subway. It is also the funder of the Cebu SRP, Fernan Bridge, and the soon-to-be constructed Mactan 4th Bridge and Mandaue Coastal Road. The combined reclamation is currently connected by 6 access roads that are 4 to 6 lanes wide, as shown here by pink lines. It is also connected by a few other minor roads. Aside from vehicles, commuters will have easy access to the combined reclamation from the LRT-1 stations that will be placed by these intersections as shown here in red circles. There will be LRT-2 stations within the Cebu North and Mandaue reclamations all the way to the airport. The domestic and international port is planned to be transferred to Consolacion. The combined reclamation will be connected to at least 1 BRT station as shown in this example here. The southeast boundary of the combined area is a sea channel. There are no vehicles from this side that will contribute to the traffic in the combined reclamation area. The CCLEX bridge developer is planning to construct an elevated expressway towards the very busy V. Rama. planning has already started for the 6 to 8 lane South Boulevard. This boulevard is doable since its current surface is mainly swamp or foreshore area. Only relatively few low-cost buildings will be hit by the road right-of-way. The wide South Boulevard and the SRP circumferential road will be a big help in reducing the vehicle traffic in the area. Thus, unlike the CBP and IT parks, both vehicle traffic and public transportation will not be a problem in the combined reclamation in the future. There appears to be no chance of help from a mass transportation system towards the CBP and IT parks. Its economic importance and land values adjusted for inflation may decrease over time in proportion to the degree of traffic congestion surrounding them. Presently, it can be observed that the rate of huge or high-rise building construction in this combined reclamation area is now higher than in the two parks. There may be a gradual shift in economic activities from the last two parks to the combined reclamation area towards the future. It would appear that the future of CBP and IT parks is bleak. Fortunately, there is a solution, an urban ART. As of 2023, urban ARTs have already been successfully applied in 38 cities all over the world since its beginning in 2004. In previous chapter videos, the recommended ART Phase 1 is the Marco Polo CICC line. To make the project more attractive to the Ayala Group, the Subang Dako station can simply be moved by 80 meters towards the entrance of Gatewalk Central. Gatewalk Central is an 18-hectare business park, a joint venture project of the Ayala and Aboitiz conglomerates. This is a zoomed view of the adjusted line. The line now connects 3 Ayala business parks by mode of mass transportation. The ART line connects to LRT1. Furthermore, the ART line connects to LRT2. To further increase the profitability of the ART or reduce Ayala's financial exposure, Ayala may ask SM and Aboitiz to partly finance the ART line. In the South Coast City, SM is the joint venture partner of Ayala. An extension line can be made between CBP and SCC. Station 7 is the South Bus Terminal. It is included in the line because of its high ridership potential. The lot in this terminal is owned by the province of Cebu. Ayala can offer to develop the property as a part of the ART project. The scheme will be similar to PITX terminal in Manila that was developed by Megawide. To further increase ridership, an intermediate station can be placed at the corner of Maxilum Hacoselem streets. Previously, we have recommended the diversion of the Subang Dako station towards Gatewalk Central on the way to the CICC station. In Gatewalk Central, Aboitiz is the joint venture partner of Ayala. In Mactan Economic Zone 2, Aboitiz is the sole developer and operator. An extension line can be made between CICC and MEZ 2. To further increase ridership, an intermediate station can be placed at Rizal Plaza. In the Mactan Airport, Aboitiz has acquired the rights to its continued operation and development from GMR Megawide. An extension line can be made between MEZ 2 and the airport. This table shows a listing of the 12 stations. It shows the potential business area around the station and the approximate lot area recommended for the station. While these 2 proposed stations do not have big business establishments like malls, both are surrounded by a dense population and high concentration of medium-sized businesses. This is a cleaner view of the ART network composed of 12 stations proposed to be funded by a consortium of direct beneficiaries, namely Ayala, Aboitiz, and SM. We break the previous network to create 2 lines as an interchange will be necessary. A good naming convention to name the two lines is to follow what was used by the La Paz ART. ART lines are assigned color names. For example, the Marco Polo South Coast City line can be called the Red Line. The CBP Airport line can be called the Green Line. In this example, the intersection between the two lines is called the Red Line-Green Line interchange, or the CBP interchange. In an interchange station, a passenger exits the station of a line. He then enters the station of another line to continue his trip. Let us show two examples of an ART interchange station in La Paz, Bolivia, to give viewers an idea of how the CBP interchange may look. This is the Libertador interchange station of the yellow and green lines. The interchange is contained in one building. This is the Jorge interchange station of the light blue and white lines. It is separated by a road in between. The interchange is connected by a passenger tube flyover. This is the proposed Metro Cebu ART line Phase 1. The line was designed to attract all investors and Filipino conglomerates that may be interested to fund the project. This is the proposed Metro Cebu ART Network Phase 1. It has been designed to attract the Ayala, Aboitiz, and SM conglomerates, as they will be the direct beneficiaries of the ART network. Other proposed lines will be covered in other chapter videos.